And welcome on in to another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, Nick beside me, Dave down below, and we are ready to break down some Friday sports. We got some NFL, CFL, MLB, all happening tonight. So we will go over those games, and we'll jump right into the NFL preseason here. 4 games happening tonight in the NFL. Currently, I have not placed a bet yet, but I am going to go over the spots that I'm looking at here. There's a spot in each game that I'm kind of thinking about. Bills plus 6.5 here in this one. Carolina will have most of their starters playing tonight. We don't know exactly how long they intend on playing them, but most of their starters will be in. Buffalo will not be playing. Obviously, their starting lineup, most of their starters will be resting in this one. But Buffalo is still taking care of business here in the preseason. Case Keenum will get half the work there at quarterback for Buffalo. I trust him against this Carolina team, and I think even with a bunch of guys resting, this Buffalo team could probably still win against Carolina plus 225. So I'm looking at the plus 6.5. I think that's a lot of points here in this one. Game 2, slight lean to Dallas plus 7, just based on Seattle's performance so far, Seattle's defense so far this year, or this preseason. But that's just a lean. I'm probably not going to get to that. Chargers plus 3.5. I think they're going to be a little bit more motivated here in this one against New Orleans. I think 3.5 is a great number. So I'll be that's a heavy lean for me as well. And then the final game, New England and Vegas. Vegas has been really good this preseason so far. However, Bill Belichick knows this quarterback. Bill Belichick knows Vegas's offense. And I think the fact that he knows both so well is a little bit scary in this one. So it's a lean with Vegas, but I'm not going to get to it just because I could see Belichick and his coaching screwing things up here for the Vegas Raiders tonight. So Buffalo plus 6.5 and the Chargers plus 3.5 will both make my card. And that's probably about it here in this one. Nick, I know you kind of said you didn't really have any NFL action, but any thoughts here in the 4 games tonight?
No, I didn't bet any NFL today. I'm probably not betting any NFL tomorrow. Week 3 is kind of one of those sketchy weeks where you don't know what really is going to happen. There's some big line movements, so obviously I can't recommend some plays. Like I would be on Seattle tonight if it wasn't for that they opened up at I think a 2.5. Now they're on a 7. I can't touch Dallas. They're not going to be playing anybody, and I expect Geno Smith and Drew Lock for the whole game, a half each probably. Let me look at the other games. Yeah, but I guess Buffalo would be probably the only look. I think Tim put that play up. That one does scare me a little bit because Carolina will be playing their starters, but meh. And then a lean towards the Raiders and a lean towards the Saints. If I had to bet them, I don't think the Chargers really care about the preseason, and their head coach has proved it the last couple of years. Not, I think, winning all of one preseason game. So it would have to be a lean towards the Saints and then lean towards the Raiders, Seahawks, and Bills. I guess if I had to get to anything.
All right. Dave, any Friday night preseason NFL that you like today?
Yeah, I've only bet 3 games in the preseason. I'm actually 2-1. I missed out on the Chiefs last night. I couldn't pull the trigger, and actually for good reason because we knew that Aaron Rodgers wasn't playing, but Patrick Mahomes was supposed to, and then he wasn't supposed to, back and forth, and then he didn't. Chiefs ended up winning, but that's this bullshit with preseason. And I jumped into the first game because to me, Carolina favored here by that much. I'm like, holy crap. And also, by the way, the total is actually pretty high because we've seen the books compensating to the under. We saw those overs in the early part of the preseason, and then the under started hitting, and then the line started dropping for totals. But I jumped right in right away. I looked at a first half bet for Carolina because Baker Mayfield's going to play most of the second half or first half. Problem is you had 2 options to bet this. One was to bet the first half at the same line almost at -6 for a full game at some sites to get -110, or you could bet it at -3.5 at -150. Was it? Anyways, it made me angry because I don't want to deal with these crappy lines and crappy preseason. There's college football tomorrow. There's still baseball. Let's wait for the real NFL. So I looked at the first game, got angry, threw my computer, and that's it.
Hey, you don't have to bet it. I've had success in NFL preseason this so far, so kind of taking a couple stabs with a light MLB card tonight. But no, you can definitely pass NFL preseason, especially the final week here. Cabana likes home runs tonight across the MLB. Lindor, Trout, Boo, Harper. Harper's back in the lineup.
Oh yeah, I was going to mention that Philadelphia called up one of their big prospects, Bryce Harper from AAA.
Overpaid.
I think he's going to be pretty good.
Stanton, Goldie, Mancini, and Mookie Betts is who Cabana likes for the home run props. Best of luck, Cabano. And Richie smashing the like as usual. Thanks as always, Richie. Much appreciated. But we will move on to CFL. I know Nick will have some plays here, and Dave will not, but that's okay. For me, nothing. Hamilton, Toronto, straight pass. No interest in getting involved in that one. If it was in Hamilton, then it would be a lean to Hamilton first half, but it's in Toronto, so I'm just not going to get there. Not with Hamilton on the road. In the second game, obviously everybody knows that Nathan Rourke is out for a long time for BC. They're hoping he will be back for the playoffs, but he will be out here in this one. I still want to back BC in some form. Probably will end up going with the money line in a parlay. -2.5 isn't bad. If that moves to plus money, then I may definitely jump on that as well. For me, yes, Rourke is really good, and he's going to be an elite quarterback in the CFL for a long time. But I think BC is kind of underrated as a team. Their defense, their overall offense. I think I don't want to say Rourke is overrated because he's definitely not. But I think him being out of the lineup is being taken a little bit too seriously when it comes to the lines. And I think the backup O'Connor will do just fine at home for BC. Saskatchewan on the road, not very good. So I still like BC to take care of business here. We'll be on their money line in a parlay of some kind, and we'll be checking that -2.5 because money has been coming in on Saskatchewan all day. And if I can get the -2.5 plus money, I'll be taking it. Nick, Friday CFL. What do you think here?
Yeah, I think for that first game, it's pretty obvious. I feel like this is just a bet that you can make almost every single time for the rest of the season. Hamilton first half. I got +1. I got +1 last week, and when they were tied heading into halftime, I won that. And I'm right back on it this week. Hamilton first half. I expect this team to do what they do every week: come out and play good for 30 minutes, and that's about it. So Hamilton first half +1. And then for the second one there, injuries are a huge storyline for that Saskatchewan game. And I think that it's going to take effect in the offense because on the other side, Saskatchewan missing a couple of receivers as well. And of course, Nathan Rourke being out for the Lions. I see this as a game where you're going to see a little bit more conservative play calling, especially with O'Connell. And of course, we have Saskatchewan on the road, which I don't want to back Saskatchewan on the road. Their offense tends to not travel at all. So this one felt like a pretty easy play for me. I got burned last night doing this, but I'm on an under again, under 46.5 with this game. I see this as a low-scoring game dominated by the run games and defense because BC's defense is number 2 in the CFL. Only allowing 20.6 points a game. The only team better than that is the 2-time defending Grey Cup champ, Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So I'm gonna side with the under in this game. Under 46.5 is what I got it at.
All right, let's get like a 21-7 BC win, and then we're both happy. But we'll move on to tonight's baseball. And first up, Dave's Los Angeles Angels against my Toronto Blue Jays here in the first game of this series. You can find the Angels plus 150 to plus 161. Toronto minus 179 to minus 194. Nines, a couple 8.5s available. The Jays got the job done yesterday. Unfortunately, they did not cash my best bet in the run line. So for betting purposes, they didn't get the job done, but they were able to get that win, which is crucial. Going into tonight's series, Mitch White against Reed Detmers. Detmers looking pretty good in his most recent games here. His last game, he did give up 10 hits and did not get lit up as much as he could have. I think if he gives up 10 hits to Toronto tonight in 6 innings, I think he's going to get hit a bit more here in this one. Also, looking at his stats, something interesting I noticed, he does not do well on turf. So obviously on the fake grass there, he's had trouble both games in Texas against the Rangers. So you have to keep that in mind. It was against the same team. So we'll see. That was also the beginning of the year when he was struggling. So we'll have to see if he comes out here and pitches as he has the last few games and pitches well. Then maybe it was just a Texas thing. But we'll have to see here. For me, it is Mitch White over 5.5 strikeouts, which I got at plus 132, I believe. The Angels strike out a lot. Mitch White has only gone approximately 4 innings in his last few starts with Toronto. I think he can get to 5 innings here with his Angels offense. And yeah, I got it plus 132 for over 5.5 strikeouts in this game. And I also have Toronto money line in a parlay with the Los Angeles Dodgers tonight. Nick, Angels, Blue Jays. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I kind of like Reed Detmers. He's looked actually pretty good. And one thing, yeah, you said he gave up 10 hits. Those are some strong looking plays, Tim, by the way. Absolute slaughter spot here for the LA Angels. But this is one of those games where it's kind of tricky because we have Toronto, both these teams coming in traveling, no days off. We have Toronto, who went extra innings yesterday against Boston, kind of depleted their bullpen a little bit there. And we have LA, who's coming in off of a loss against getting swept against Tampa Bay. I don't think this is a good spot for the Toronto Blue Jays, to be completely honest. And Reed Detmers has looked really good as of late. He did have a little hiccup in his last start. He gave up 4 earned runs and 10 hits. But previous to that, 2 earned runs, 1 earned run, 1 earned run, no earned runs, 2 earned runs, no earned runs. So he's been strong. And these were against decent teams. Baltimore, no earned runs against Baltimore, 2 earned runs against Houston, no earned runs against Atlanta. 2 earned runs against Texas. My bad, 1 earned run against Texas, 1 earned run against Seattle, 2 earned runs against Minnie. So these are not terrible lineups that he's been going up against, and he's been pitching pretty well. And this is someone where, yeah, he can give up hits, but the only thing is he doesn't give up hard contact. So you can slap your little opposite field singles against him and all that fun jazz. But you're not going to get hard contact against this guy because he's a soft-tossing lefty, and that's just not what he produces too much of. So that reflects into his FIP and Sierra stats to the last 30 days, which are 2.62 for FIP and 2.81 for Sierra. So this guy is pretty good. It makes me want to go ahead and bet the Angels tonight. I didn't get to the Angels, but it would be a strong lean towards them.
All right. I think the Angels are playing one way and Toronto's playing another. That's one thing to definitely look at. And I was definitely going to say one more thing here, but I cannot remember what it is. But I'll get back to it. Dave, you seem to smile here when you saw all these Angels bets that Tim likes. Are you on the same side? Are you on Angels minus 2.5 tonight?
A lot of good memories as an Angels fan, the Big A. It's one of my favorite stadiums. Obviously, I'm biased, one of the easiest to get in and out of, and a lot of good memories, like I said. But I can bet against this team, and this is not an angel spot, in my opinion, for a lot of reasons. Detmers, I'm not high on him. He threw a no-hitter, and then he got dumped back down to the minor leagues for some adjustment. And I think one of the reasons why he's done okay, and I say okay because, he's still no barn burner throwing 90 miles an hour, is exactly that. Left-hand Jamie Moyers don't exist anymore, if you guys know what that is. Left-handed, soft pitching lefties is a thing of the past. I think we're not seeing it as much anymore. When people figure him out, he's going to get blasted. He's a middle reliever to me. He's not a starting pitcher at best. And I'm just not a big on him. And Mitch White has pitched just fine since coming to the Blue Jays. I think there's a big lean towards Mitch White. And then in every other aspect, the Blue Jays are better. I mean, they actually don't have a lot of at-bats versus left-handed pitching at home. I had to go back a full month, just left-handed pitching in general. They're hitting slightly above average in power. For average, they're slightly below. I would just say they're average across the board in stats. And, of course, L.A., the Angels are at the fucking – excuse my language, at the bottom. It makes me angry how bad they are and how many good, decent players they have on the team. And then the bullpen, Toronto's bullpen's been one of the best the past 2 weeks, and LA's is expectedly not that great. So I have them, the Blue Jays on the run line against my team. I also think traveling from Florida to Canada is a long ways. You're not going through time zones, but you're going there on a long flight. You have to sit through customs. And we all know that travel hurts bats more than pitching. So I'm on the Blue Jays personally today, run line.
All right. Yeah, what I was going to mention about Detmers, as Nick said, he was doing pretty good against good competition. But if you look at who his last game was against, he gave up the 10 hits.
Yeah, he had one little hiccup start, but I can expect him to bounce back a little bit.
It was the
Detroit
Tigers.
maybe an under in this game because both teams are traveling, but I don't trust the bullpens at all, and it's one of those spots. So
on any other team,
under.
On any other team, Detmers is a reliever. He's not in the starting lineup. That's just we'll see. By next year, we'll see where he is. Probably be in the minors.
The Blue Jays have used up bullpen arms last couple of days, but this bullpen has been rocking. It has been really good, so I think it can get the job done here. Use BetStamp. Use code WILD when signing up. Find as many books as you can. Do your line shopping. Find the best lines for whatever you are betting. And make sure to follow me there at Let's Go Wild Picks. We'll go on to the next game here, one of the later games. We have the Yankees and Garrett Cole in Oakland facing a former Yankee and Sears. I liked this spot as soon as I saw it last night. And Tim said yesterday, I think it was, that I don't bet dogs. That is incorrect. I am on the Oakland Athletics first 5 plus a half at plus 133. I think that is absolutely insane. I know it's Garrett Cole. I know the Yankees are playing good again. That's the only little thing that scares me. But I think Sears, who's pitched very well in his time with Oakland and when he was with the Yankees, comes out here in the first 5 against his former team and keeps the game tied, or maybe even the Athletics are winning against Garrett Cole. So at plus 133 for the plus a half in the first 5, I had to take that. And there we go. I'm betting an underdog. It happens.
Wow.
Nick, what do you think here? Yankees and Athletics.
Pigs just.
No, I'm on the same side with that one here. I'm backing JP Sears. And we saw yesterday I had the Oakland first 5 as well, and that did not work, to say the least, as they got absolutely blown out. But this is a spot here where I can see this being a little bit of an opposite game of last night. Last night was an over, and the Yankees blew them out. I see this game as a lower scoring game, and obviously so did the books. The lines dropped, I believe, to a 6.5 in some spots, and I think that's right. I think we're going to see a lower scoring game here in this spot, where the first 5 total, I believe, was a 3. So maybe a 1-1-0-0 type of game. I rarely do this, but I have 2 of them today. I have a first 5 plus a half because I like the under a little bit in this game. It's 3.5 minus 127 to the under for the first 5 under. But I got first 5 plus a half at plus 120 with the Athletics. I think that we're at least going to have a tie game at the end of 5.
Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like to take the plus a half in the first 5. They would rather go with the money line. But in this spot here, if I took the plus whatever, like plus 200 or whatever, and they happen to be tied, then you're losing out on a plus money cash by just taking the plus a half. So I'm one of the people that have no issues taking the plus half in the first 5. Richie disagrees. I think it's a trap.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Dave, Yankees Athletics. What do you think here?
Yeah, we've made some good money on the A's this season, picking our spots. I don't hate that bet. I probably lean exactly to the same bet you guys are betting. I see something in Garrett Cole, even though he's a great pitcher, just that maybe, the days of old are gone, and he's kind of going, on the back end of the hill. But he's still, still a good pitcher. He's still in the All-Star team. I think that's because of what he's done before. But either way, Sears has pitched well for Oakland. And by the way, the plus half a run in the first 5 is an art, especially if you're getting plus money. But it's still the Yankees. It's still the Athletics at home. And it's a team that has something to play for, and a team that's just waiting to, book a tee time in the offseason. So I'm off this game, but I could get behind an A's spot here for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely not my most favorite play of the day, but it's an underdog plus money bet that I just had to take here in this situation.
Don't hate it.
We'll go to the final game here before we get to the best bet segment, and that is the Cleveland Guardians and the Seattle Mariners tonight. And we have a pretty good game on tap. I don't want to say it's going to be the game of the night, but I think this is going to be a really good game to finish the night off. 2 teams looking like they're playoff bound here. The Seattle Mariners currently have the longest playoff drought in professional sports, the major 4 sports, looking to break that playoff drought. And the Guardians have all of a sudden taken a stranglehold for their division, surprisingly. You can find Cleveland minus 111 to minus 118. Seattle is minus 102 to minus 105. So very similar prices across the board. 7s, a few 6.5s available in this game here. For me, 2 pretty similar teams, I think, with how they're playing currently. But when it comes to the first 5 and the pitching matchup, I think we have a clear advantage here with Bieber and the Cleveland Guardians. So I'm on Cleveland first 5 money line, which I got for minus 120. I look for the Guardians to keeping on here and be hopefully winning. If not, maybe tied after 5 here in Seattle. Nick, what do you think here? Cleveland and Seattle.
I didn't get to this one here. This game kind of scared me, where the way the line moved and all that stuff. I want to back Cleveland. I think Shane Bieber's got the bullpen or the pitching advantage. Logan Gilbert's definitely regressed lately. 6 ERA the last 30 days. Sierra close to 5, a 5.25 FIP. So he's definitely regressed recently. And kind of like we expected. He had a good start to the year, and then he's regressed since then. So I guess I lean towards Cleveland, but I did not get involved.
All right. Dave, I watched your free pick video in this game. If you didn't know that Dave does free pick videos, that actually brings me to my next thing here. Make sure to follow Nick and Tim at ESB, Dave at Picks from Dave. Both the descriptions to their YouTubes are in the description below. So make sure to give them a follow. But Dave, for people that haven't seen your video on this game, what do you think here, Cleveland and Seattle?
Yeah, this is actually my favorite game of the day. And it's one where all the boxes are checked for one team. Granted, maybe not huge discrepancies between the two because there's a lot of places where they're close. But really, to me, I mean, we'll start with at the plate. Cleveland against righties away versus Seattle versus righties at home. There's a gap. Cleveland's about average the past 3 weeks. Seattle is average in some stats, but below like an average and isolated power. So there's a lean there. When you look at the bullpens, these two have been two of the best bullpens in baseball. Cleveland, in my opinion, is the best, so there's an edge there. But the biggest edge is in starting pitching, not just in who I think is better, but also in what's happened this last month. Bieber has had his best month of the year, of the season, and Logan Gilbert has had his worst. So I like the full game money line. I think this is a Cleveland spot. I thought it was last night too. That was a close game. Mariners won. But when you see one team checking all the boxes, that and you're getting a good price, you're not having to hit the run line or do something crazy. I'd like Cleveland straight out on the money line in this bet, and that's my best bet of the day.
All right, I'm going first 5. You're going full game. Best luck to both of us. Wellington likes LA -1.5. Are you talking about LA Dodgers or the LA Angels? We'll have to see. And Richie I thought episode 2 was coming on last night. I read the date wrong. Yes, speaking of that, thanks for reminding me, Richie. Dave is doing his show tonight. Nerd Collector, right?
Yeah, the Nerd Collector.
Yes, the Nerd Collector. So make sure to tune into that later on. The link will be in the description of this video. I will be making an appearance at some point, so make sure to tune into that.
Terry's super excited to talk college football on that show.
Yeah, I'll be there for the baseball portion, but yeah, I don't know college football, so I don't know a thing, and I'll tell everybody here on the show. I'm not afraid to say it. Not everybody knows every sport. You can ask Dave about his hockey expertise, and I'm sure, hey, he's a much better college football capper than I am, and I'm probably a better hockey capper than he is. So
yeah, I still think Steve Yzerman's in the league. And Luke Robitaille.
He is. He's the GM of the Red Wings.
So that's what's so funny is the last 2 hockey players I've named, Luke Robitaille and Steve Yzerman. Those were the teams when ESPN was the only outlet when I was a kid. There wasn't the internet or anything. You had to watch all the sports, and so those were players that were great when I was a kid. Now they're GMs. That shows you I know dick about hockey.
But that's a great thing. Lots of different cappers, lots of different sports, and everybody has different things that they are good at. But we all cap baseball, and we have more games on the slate today. So I did say my Dodgers Toronto parlay. I went over the rest of my bets. I am looking at a Philadelphia and Houston 2-team money line parlay as well, which I should be getting to here to fade Bryce Wilson and the Pirates is definitely something I'm interested in. To hear that Bryce Harper will be making his return, in my opinion, helps out the Phillies offense, which I don't really think they need too much help with at the moment. So if anything, that makes them better here in that one. The Miami has finally announced a starting pitcher. It'll be Tommy Nance for the Marlins. He's played in 3 games and goes about 2 or 3 innings here. So we'll have to see what happens. Don't really know too much about him. But what I do know is that it's Tyler Anderson on the mound for the Dodgers, and it's a lefty. Miami is the worst team against lefties in the league. The Garage will be making an appearance. Unfortunately, it probably won't, but who knows? Maybe I'll show the Garage. Justin, I hit the like. Thanks a lot for that, and found out that Arenado's on paternity leave, so he will not be playing today. Braves money line, Houston money line, and the Jays money line for Richie. I like it. But going back to the rest of the games here, like I was saying, Miami is the worst team against lefties. Cleveland was right there, but Cleveland's starting to move up. It's actually the LA Angels that are now joining Miami in the basement of hitting lefties in baseball. But still, the Angels have a bit to go before they get on Miami's level. So I have to back the Dodgers here in this spot. So I do have the Dodgers money line. Was looking at taking the run line, but it would have to be a minus 2.5. But I still might get there. I like the Dodgers tonight. Reds and Nationals. Oh boy, this one is really interesting. Obviously, a big bum fight, and I want to bet the favorite, but Washington at minus 143. I can't recommend somebody betting that. I'm sorry, but the Nationals should not be minus 143. I can't bet it, but I really want to fade Mike Minor. I just don't know if this is the spot with a rookie starting for the Nationals. Very interesting game, and I really want to bet it, but I don't think I'm going to get there. Other interesting games, we got Otto on the mound, but the Tigers are the team that is going against him, and he actually hasn't been too bad as of late. So that game was ultimately a pass as well. Nothing in Rays, Red Sox, Rockies, or Mets. I did say I'm going to have Houston in a parlay with the Phillies. Kyle Bradish hasn't been horrible, but he's been consistent at giving around 3 earned runs here. And I think Houston can continue to hit him in this spot. Padres haven't announced who will be pitching for them. Chris Bubic on the other side. No really interest in betting.
It's not Joe Musgrove?
MLB.com says to be determined.
So. It should be Joe Musgrove. That's the listed pitcher I've seen.
Yeah, I did see that for Miami it was supposed to be Braxton Garrett or it was supposed to be Tyler Rogers. And now apparently they settled on what's his name?
Nance.
Nance. No disrespect.
Jim Nance.
Yeah, wrong so sport. Until I see to be determined gone from the MLB.com, we don't exactly know. It should be Musgrove, but we'll see.
The listed pitchers are Musgrove. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. I'm not going to bet the game until obviously I know for sure who's going to be pitching. And even then, I can't back this Padres team, even against Chris Bubic. And that's basically it. There's obviously some more games on the slate. I don't really have any strong opinions of them. Braves and Cardinals, that's going to be a really good game. Strider against Quintana. But I just can't bet it. My lean would be with the Braves, but they're big road favorites here against a really good team. And I think if this was like minus 110 each way, I'd be on the Braves. But at like minus 153, I can't do it on the road in this spot. So it's ultimately a pass. But I would lean with the Braves. Nick, last pitch, the rest of baseball. You don't have to go over every game, but whatever ones interest you, feel free.
Yeah, I got a couple plays. Didn't get to anything in that Dodger game because I didn't have a line forever, and I don't want to bet that. Nothing on Phillies, Pirates. It would have to be a lean towards the Phillies. There's no way Bailey Falter should be laying minus 270. That would just be a lean though. We get a marquee matchup of the evening with Cincy and Washington. I saw this game on the card yesterday, and I'm like, that is the most 1-800-gambler game of the year I've seen. How the hell am I going to bet this game? And then I looked into it a little bit, and I actually do like the Nationals in this game a little bit. I think this is the first time, like since April, we've seen the Nationals as this big of a favorites, and I think it's for a reason. Obviously, Mike Minor is not a major league pitcher at this point. So I got the Nationals on the minus 1 line at minus 104. I think that this is a spot where I rarely would lay juice with the Nationals. Tonight, I think they're able to win by multiple runs. I'm also on the Rays on the minus 1 line. I got that at minus 131 against the Red Sox. I just don't think they should be dogs in that game. And then the other game I like the Cardinals first 5. I don't mind them full game as well. I don't think the Cardinals should be this big of an underdog at home where they're dominant against the Braves team where the Braves, you got to keep in mind, they're still under 500 against winning teams this year. So this is not a team that we can consistently rely on to beat winning teams, over 500 teams. I think they're 26 and 28, so they're sub 500 against those teams. So you got to be careful with laying juice, especially on the road with them. So I like the Cardinals in the first 5 there. And then it's going to be my daily fading of the Padres. I'm going to back the Boob, man. I'm going to back Bubik. Give me them first 5 plus the half a run at even money. And I cannot trust an offense in the Padres that made Anibal Sanchez and Patrick Corbin look good. I'm also on the first 5 under 4.5 at -115. I think it's a lower scoring game, maybe 1-1, 2-2 at the end of 5 innings. So under 4.5 and the plus a half with the Royals for that game. And that's it.
All right. Dave, last pitch. What do you think here?
Yeah, I only have one other play, and it's the Giants Twins under. I got it at 8. Now it's at 7.5. These two teams, I mean, Alex Wood's kind of scary, but these two teams just aren't scoring runs. Go look at their last 10 games and see how many runs they've scored. I could break down all the stats and everything, but really the past 2 weeks, not good. The Twins are kind of in a tailspin, and the Giants have been an under team all year. So that's the only other bet I have. And the show is tonight at on Friday nights, obviously tonight, 8:30 Eastern. It was 4 hours last time. I don't know how long it's going to go. That's the whole point. There's no rules. We're going to go over the card. We're going to talk about what we want. Everyone's welcome to come, and come join us. Oh, and it's called, by the way, it's called Nerd Talk, the Capper Collective, not the Nerd Collector.
Yeah, I couldn't. I was thinking because we were talking about names before, and I kind of
you should have heard. Yeah, you guys would have liked the other names, but I kind of like Nerd Collector. That's cool.
There we go. But we will go on to the best bets segment here. We will start with over under as we usually do. 1 second here. I'm not prepared.
Unbelievable.
Yes, I know. I'm not prepared for this part of the show, but give me a second here. We will start with over under as we usually do. For me today, no totals. So I'm not going to give one out. But Nick, you are on BC, Saskatchewan, under 46.5.
Correct.
Tim is taking Kansas City, San Diego, under 8.5. Ryan is going with Chicago White Sox, Arizona over 8.5. Dave, what do you think here for over under?
San Francisco, Minnesota, whatever it's at right now. I think it's 7.5. There might be an 8 somewhere, but the under, whatever it is.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, it's mostly 7.5.
That's fine. I'll take it.
All right. Under 7.5. All right. 21 viewers on YouTube. Everyone smash like button. Thanks for coming on in. Reminding me, if you're watching on Twitter, come join us on YouTube. We'd love to have you in the live chat. So make sure to come and join us there. Dog of the day. I am on Oakland first 5 plus a half, but not on them for the full money line. So they're not able to be my dog of the day currently under the rules. Who makes the rules anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Me.
Yeah, what a loser.
Yeah, but they'll be changing for the football season coming up soon. So there we go. But for now, Oakland first 5 plus a half is my closest dog of the day pick. Nick, you are going Tampa Bay Rays, and Tim is going the St. Louis Cardinals. Dave, is there a dog that you like today?
Negative.
All right. Lingowick likes LED in Miami, under 7.5. Best of luck. We'll go on to Parlay Piece. For me, Dodgers money line, fading Miami against lefties. Nick, you're going with the Washington Nationals on the money line, and Tim and Ryan both going Mets -1.5. Dave, what do you think here for Parlay Piece?
Nah, I'm off this one too. Everything's too juicy for my liking.
All right. Moving on to best bet. For me, LA Dodgers, Toronto, both on the money line for plus 112. Nick, you're taking the Kansas City Royals, first 5 money line, plus 165. Tim is going a 2-team parlay, taking the St. Louis Cardinals, plus 1.5, and the Mets on the money line for plus 130. And Ryan is going Philadelphia, team total over 5.5. Dave, you already said Cleveland Guardians money line.
Money line.
Right?
Yep.
Right. I will find the best odds for that after the
It's like
show.
minus 115-ish.
Right. Perfect.
I get minus 107 on Circus Sports.
There you go.
All right. There we go. But that is today's show. Best of luck to everybody tonight. In about 15 minutes, me, Nick, and Ian Cameron Pabano will be going over the Vegas Golden Knights and their off season. Then later on tonight, as Dave said, he'll have his show. So make sure to tune to that. Nick, you and Tim are doing a college football show tonight as well, correct?
I believe, yeah. I don't know the exact time yet. I have to talk that over with Tim, but we're going to have our first Football Friday show every Friday for the college football season, seeing that. We're really not going to have time in the mornings on Saturdays to go over too much college football. We wanted a specific show for it. So Football Friday, ESB. We don't know the exact time yet, but we'll probably post something on the on our community posts for that.
All right. And then you have Nick and Tim's normal ESB show tomorrow morning. You have Getting Wild, 1 p.m. Lots of content. Make sure if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. We appreciate all the support. And we will see you again for a bunch of different videos coming up on our 3 channels. So make sure to tune into those. Best luck on your bets tonight. We'll see you later, guys.